All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and good night. It's Fakeologist Show. It is Monday, February the 9th, 2026. And it's Monday. That means an ounce of salt per day. It's his new time slot. Franks, hello.
Hello to you, Mr. Fakeologist.
Thank you very much for joining. We also have Lucas that joined the studio. Lucas, you can say hi if you want.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hi, Lucas.
Hi, Lucas.
What brings you to our strange part of the world?
I'm just waiting on my family to get back home, so I figure I'll shoot the breeze with you guys for a little bit.
Oh,
All right,
fantastic.
we're happy to shoot breezes. Breezes are shot here daily. So thanks everyone for joining. And we don't really have an agenda tonight. At least I don't. Frank often has an agenda, and we learned about it as the show
I'm
goes on.
happy to keep talking about money again.
I like money.
It's me. I'm not sure if I like it, but it's certainly becoming the hot topic, isn't it?
Oh, it's always a topic for me because I study the markets now, and I do enjoy them. They're always different. They're more interesting as time goes on. The annoying thing, normally I'm not too fussy about whatever Trump does, but tonight's news from the orange Estein, as many people call him here, is he wants half the bridge that we built to America, which I find extremely troll-like. So we built a bridge to America at the busiest border crossing. It's called the Gordie Howe Bridge. It's not open yet because every Canadians always over-engineer everything, and that has to be perfect. We paid for the whole thing, including all the connections to the United States highway system, and Trump is unhappy because he just doesn't, I guess, know the whole story, but whatever the case is, he wants half the bridge. He says any international bridge should be 50-50, even if he didn't pay for it. So now he's got my hackles raised because I think that's insane. So anyway.
But you're not. It doesn't matter to you one way or another, Tim. If you're honest with yourself, I mean, you're not going to notice any benefit or loss either way, are you?
Oh, probably not. But
I mean, sorry, I should say any change in benefit. Obviously, the benefit to you will be better access to the USA.
Yeah.
Assuming that there are no political impediments to crossing the bridge.
Yes, it's just
big assumption.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's just an annoying thing that I'm sure will go away. So I'm not gonna let him troll me on this topic. But he is, as I say, the number one troll in the world.
He is.
He's fantastic at it. So I won't let it get to me.
Or well, as they say in Latin, nil illegitimus carborundum.
Exactly. What does that mean again?
Don't let the bastards grind you down.
Oh, right. Okay. Now we can also look at my X account and see what's there. That feed is always chock-a-block full of stuff. So we could do that too. Or we could okay, here it is. Here's the Twitter account. Don't forget that Trump is not really on Twitter. He's on his own social platform. Okay, so his official somebody or he does or his minions create posts on True Social, and then they get transcribed over here. So here's the bridge here. I know you're into engineering and all that. So here it is there. It's already way more done than that. What does it say here? As everyone knows, the country of Canada has treated the United States very unfairly for decades. Okay. Now things are turning around for the USA and fast, but imagine Canada is building a massive bridge between Ontario and Michigan. They own both the Canada and the United States side, and of course, built it with virtually no U.S. content. President Barack Hussein Obama stupidly gave them a waiver so they could get around the Buy American Act and not use any American products, including our steel. I don't know if that's true or not, Now, the Canadian government expects me as president of the United States to permit them to just take advantage of America. What does the United States of America get? Absolutely nothing. Ontario won't even put U.S. spirits, beverages, and other alcoholic products on their shelves. They are absolutely prohibited from doing so. And now, on top of everything else, Prime Minister Carney wants to make a deal with China, which will eat Canada alive. We'll just get the leftovers. I don't think so. The first thing China will do is terminate all ice hockey being played in Canada. He's such a troll. It's funny. It's funny, but I know Canadians fall for it. And permanently eliminate the Stanley Cup. Well, Americans have basically taken it away anyway. But as a Canadian, I don't care because most American teams are full of Canadians, so it gives Canadians jobs. The tariffs
I
Canada
personally think you're deluding yourself that you're a Canadian.
I know. Well, I was born here. The tariffs Canada charges for our dairy products have for many years been unacceptable, putting our farmers at great financial risk. Well, that's not true. I don't think they could care less about our market. It's too small. I will not allow this bridge to open until the United States is fully compensated for everything we have given them. And also importantly, Canada treats the United States with the fairness and respect we deserve. We will start negotiations immediately. With all that we have given them, we should own perhaps at least one half of this asset. The revenues generated because of the U.S. market will be astronomical. Thank you for. I wonder who writes this stuff. Honestly, it almost is very. It has a very juvenile tone to it.
It does, yeah. That's
I
it. It
it,
is the way that the lack of statesmanship in modern politics is probably the most profound thing.
mm,
If you listen to any of those old speeches by people like Lloyd George and so on, and
oh
compare
yeah.
them,
Well,
to
I think
the way people talk today.
most of us are okay with the fact that language and deport and behavior has all been watered down to just TikTok levels. We get
Yeah.
it, but Trump is. There's no way one man is this actor. There's just no
Well,
way.
how could he? How can anyone do everything that happens
In
in a
a day.
24-hour day?
Yeah, you're totally right. So most of us are aware of it's a whole team. It's a big team that runs him.
And we're not on it.
Yeah, he's just the puppet show. But again, his role is to troll, and it's very good. It's very good trolling. And it really Canadians are so serious about this clown that they probably buy into it.
Well, the thing that it does is it kind of reinforces the idea that Canada is a country, which I think is totally fallacious,
Right.
or that it's different in some way from any other jurisdiction like China, and people are all essentially living in the same way under the same rules. Marriage rules, for example, divorce rules, they're not different anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
What does our new guest want to talk about?
Yeah, what do you want to talk about? Or we could.
Man, it was bad. It was bad timing. My family came home right as the show started, so I might chime in, but I'll let you guys handle it. Sorry.
That's all right. Take care. Thanks for joining. And if anyone wants to call in, you can call in. You can talk about whatever you want. This is my Twitter feed. We can go on about this. There's lots of Bitcoin stuff on here.
Tell me your thoughts on Bitcoin now, Tim.
My thoughts, really nothing. It's just a commodity that goes up and down. And
you think it's going to survive?
Oh yes, I think
because I have to tell you that I think it's going to get a zero.
That's okay. Then I'll buy it off you when it gets to zero.
I haven't got any, so that's not.
I just don't think it's any different from the way things have been in the past. It's gone through many cycles up and down, and the main thing that I believe in is the fact that there's only so many minted, mined, whatever you want to call it, whereas almost every other crypto has unlimited supply. So I think that makes it more valuable than even gold, because there is probably unlimited gold in the world. It's just not easy to get out of the ground. And that's about it. The other thing I wanted to talk about is this whole prop betting. There are all kinds of different apps out there for making bets on just about anything and everything.
Yes,
It,
it's evil. I think it is evil.
it is kind of evil, but it's kind of it's basically like a poll with money. So if you want to find out what anyone thinks in general about any topic, you can just put a bet out there. And because there's money involved, you really get people to respond. So I think
Yeah.
it's a form of advanced polling.
Well,
Where
is that your own thought, or did you hear that somewhere else?
no, actually, I'm making it up as I go along because
It's a very powerful model, I think.
thank you. Because when it comes to, say, the NFL, which is one of the most successful sports leagues in the world, they just had their stupid bowl yesterday, and most people couldn't care less about it because the sport itself is not very interesting. It's very low speed, full of commercials, and it's really hard to get excited about. But everyone watches it because almost everyone has financial skin in the game through betting.
Right.
It's probably the most heavily bet sports thing in the world. But again, the game is really boring. It's really slow moving. It's not even intense. I don't think yesterday's game was any good, as most of them are no good. And but people watch because they've got huge bets on. So I think this whole thing that's relatively new, these poly markets and whatever other markets there are where they have these prop bets, are amazing. So for instance, here we go. Here's a poly market has, it looks like, a bet on whether United States will attack Iran tonight.
Wow.
So I guess you can track the bets. Someone placed a bet predicting it would happen tonight. I'm not exactly sure what the exact bet is, but whatever it is, maybe you can propose a bet and put money on it as well. Maybe you can make your own prop bets and see if anyone responds. So it's really quite fascinating.
So presumably prop is for propose a bet, is it?
I think so. It's just an ad hoc bet, I guess. And
You just
caller in or call back. I sorry, I missed your call. So if you want to call back, caller in, you can. We're on this show till 9 o'clock, so we're kind of open ended tonight.
very open ended tonight.
Here we go with the chemtrail talk. I'm not talking about that. Epstein, Epstein is linked to everything in the world that's happening now, just like Trump is. That's what Slick Rick says. Boris says BTC is the Ponzi scheme of the century. Maybe, but I doubt it. Till says America has been very patient with Canada. Yeah, that's the official story. Till is really trolling hard against Canada. That's funny, troll. Why don't you call in, Till? Because I know you're a regular commenter. Call in and explain yourself if you want. All right, here's our caller in. Let's see. Why don't you call in, Phil? Because I know you're a regular commenter. Call in and explain. Okay, caller in. Where are you calling from? What's your name?
As Willard from Florida.
Hey, Willard from
Hey,
Florida.
Willard.
How you doing? I didn't even hear the phone ring this time. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, it gave me some different directions.
Oh, did it? Okay, maybe I didn't set it up right.
Yeah.
Oh, you know why? Because I didn't turn the phones on properly. Thank you, Willard.
Okay.
At least you figured it out, because I know some people can't figure it out. But yeah, thank you for calling.
Frank, last week you mentioned a book called The Nephilim Look Like Clowns.
Yep.
I went and I listened to a 2-hour interview with
Paul Stubbs. Paul Stubbs.
Yeah. And his take and worldview is exactly like the friend I was telling you about that had been raised in this multiple personality. And there's a couple points I want to make. One is he mentioned that the Masons, the Odd Fellows, it's a specific set of masonry only for people in show business and politicians. So how's that for a pairing of people? Because you know how y'all.
Well, Paul talks about that. He
yeah.
And they are called the Jokers or something like that.
I bet it's probably the Royal Order of the Jesters.
That's it. Thank you.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, right.
It's the Royal Order of the Jesters. You're correct.
And he mentioned how with the clowns that when people were dressed like this, that they would channel.
Channel the Nephilim. Yep.
Right. And the point I wanted to make was this friend of mine said that when you watch movies or like we talked about lyrics, he said that you'll get influenced by these spirits, that these movies and these lyrics are written in such a fashion, just like this Stubbs fellow was saying, to where you're allowing yourself to be influenced by these entities or forces.
Yes.
And I thought that was.
And I've basically taken that model to heart by, whenever I watch anything or even coming on here, that I pray and ask for, protection.
Well, it kind of puts this whole Epstein thing in a whole new light, because the fellow that I knew was in the 90s, and he would tell me, remember Clinton, the Clinton scandals there with Monica and all that business?
Yeah.
He told me that stuff was put out there, to debase us or corrupt our minds, to get us thinking, at this level, to put these ideas in our head.
Yeah, exactly.
And like with Epstein, I don't know what
does the same thing. It lowers people's minds. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Or as the New Age people say, your wavelength gets lowered.
Oh yeah.
Or your vibration. Sorry, your vibration.
Yeah, there's a famous lyric by that. When I was growing up, they had that rapper Eminem, and he basically explicitly says that, like that the whole Lewinsky scandal was to lower the morals of the country.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
I think that accounts. One thing I was wondering about was Epstein was a lot of these pictures to me look staged or AI constructed or not real. And I think that speaks what you were saying, Ab, about this fellow being a construct and all this being a construct rather than a reality that actually happened. I don't know if you had any ideas on that.
Or an exaggeration.
Yeah, well, there you go. Right. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Something else, you mentioned Doris Day. You'd watch these old movies.
Yeah.
And look at them in a different light. If you go back and look, I posted years ago on the Fakeologist blog about this. There's two different people that play Doris Day. There was one up until about the mid-50s, and then another one, which was the second one, and that was the one that tied into the Manson case. But it's real distinct if you go back and look at the two different people. Another case like that is Joan Baez. There's a YouTube video called Barbara Allen, and the woman, that's the first one with Joan Baez, the original one. And then subsequent, if you look at Blowing in the Wind or the other kits by her, you can see it's a different person. And so this business of putting different people out there is more than just with the Beatles and Paul McCartney, but with other performers. I wonder
because they've created the brand.
Right.
And the most important thing to do is keep it going, which is really what Rick and
we talked about it.
The conversation that came on with Rick and what was his name?
Oh, Mark Devlin, yeah.
Really good. But I just listened to it yesterday. Really good.
Oh, thanks, Frank. Well, Rick did a good job. I was just there.
It's a really good interview, and I think he's done a really good job.
You're a good man.
So for me, Willard, I think all of this stuff, if I was going to call it the unifying field theory, is really the the idea that we are in the last moments of and the period of where Satan is here to deceive us. I think that explanation, that model, provides a lot of descriptive power to our current reality.
I agree. I think that's the way of putting it, because the more I get involved in fakeology, the more you see the scope of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the scope of death is really remarkable. You know, I must confess, when I first started listening to you years ago, I started thinking, you know, you're overstating things a little bit, you know, maybe.
Probably. I
But
probably
no,
was.
the years.
Well, you probably were, yeah.
Yeah, but now as the time unfolds, you guys were spot on. You know, if anything, I was one underestimating the scope and depth of this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, how the, you know, how deep it goes and how pervasive it
Yeah.
is.
Well, hey.
Absolutely every aspect of our lives now is fake. Fake everything. Fake countries, fake money, fake cosmology, fake.
We trust a lot. Humans trust a lot. That's just the nature of, I guess, humanity. We're very trusting people. We're easily duped, and it's no wonder no one takes advantage of it. Or it's only logical someone would take advantage of it, because we're so dupable, and even if we get duped, we'll get duped again and again and again and again. It never ends. Just, you could be duped 100 times, and that's just how people are.
Yeah, it's that old Latin saying, the world wants to be deceived, let it be deceived.
Yeah.
You know, seems like we don't learn a lesson. I remember when you and Simon were talking about 9/11, and you say, okay, so what else are they pulling our leg on? You know, what else are they fooling us with? And then you went to JFK, and
it never ends.
It never ends, and it's so, the scope is what I think people underestimate. You know, 9/11 taught us about the scope of this stuff.
Yeah, well, if you can get away with it, why wouldn't you keep doing it? Why do criminals keep criminalizing? Because they don't get caught, so they just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep doing it.
Yeah, nobody's getting hurt, so there's no problem there.
No problem.
And they're playing by a different set of rules. They're playing by a different set of rules too. I mean, like, people that have any semblance of a conscience, they feel bad about lying, but unfortunately, there's psychos out there they have no issue lying to get what they want.
Well, I think they're also bound by the non-lying rule, though, and we talked about this several times. If you actually listen to how they talk, they tend to not actually lie.
Yeah,
in my view.
Yeah, I think we've said that. Yeah, they don't. They don't lie.
And in fact, if you listen carefully, you will be told the truth. Like the time when we saw the video of Bill Gates saying, you know, if we are really successful in vaccinating everybody, then we'll lower the birth rate by, he told you.
But that was a bit of an ambiguous statement, though. It could have gone any way. You could interpret that differently.
I don't agree with you, but that's okay. I thought it was completely unequivocal. Okay. But that's all right. I mean, I've been wrong many times before, Tim. But I thought,
I know what you're saying. I just thought that.
But to me, it was a perfect example, almost an archetypal example of what did we call? I called it masterful speaking. You came up with a better name for it the other day. Anyway, that concept.
I don't know if
pill pull. That was me. Rabbinical pill pull.
Pill pull. That's it. It was you. Great.
Yeah, you came up with it. Very good.
Well, I didn't come up with it, but I brought it to the show. But I mean, it's the same way lawyers work. They can look at anything from a different angle and do all that. I think, as you said, Frank, casuistic hair splitting.
Yeah.
It's
Kabbalistic hair splitting. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Might as well be, right? But hey, I wanted to ask you guys. So, because of course there's like a soap opera spectacle aspect to all this Epstein file release. Like, why is the government releasing this? Like they want us to look at this, right? But do you think it's all BS completely, or do you think there's any truth to it? Because the reason I ask is
all BS.
But you don't think there's?
I'm kind of
Oh,
I'm
sorry,
kind
go
of
ahead.
split. I don't. If I have my view is that these people have to follow God's law. Because of their situation, and because of that, I don't think God would allow, the sort of child molestation and so on that goes on. That's the only reason I have for thinking this. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't have.
The,
I don't
the,
have any evidence.
okay. Yeah. I'm kind of split on like, I think of course they're making there's a reason they're bringing it to our attention,
Yeah.
but
And I
I don't
think
know if
it's
it's
what
all
you
BS.
talked about before. It's to lower the vibe.
Yep.
To take
Well,
the
to make people to normalize it in people's minds,
Yeah.
because I mean, I brought it up I think at the end of the show with Lynn last week, but it's like in our culture, it's normal to abort kids. It's normal to inject kids with poisons, and now they're trying to
yeah,
normalize, hormone freaking transitional stuff.
yeah,
And I'm thinking like it's not that big of a reach that there would be people doing, maybe more barbaric versions of that behind the scenes.
Yeah.
However, at the same time, they turn it into like a boring news story almost. Like I think you guys are even saying like I'm tired of it at this point. Like they kind of get us used to it. So I'm not really sure where I stand. I mean, I've been looking into this kind of stuff for years, but there's definitely some kind of weird agenda for why they're allowing that to be out there.
Well, what I think is really happening is the laws are being created,
Yeah.
but it's actual men and women that end up doing the evil stuff, like you were talking about abortions and so on.
yeah.
It's not the bad guys themselves that do the work. Like it's not as if George Bush went off to the Middle East and started using a gun himself. He had to convince other people to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
And
it didn't take much, especially since a lot of those young people needed a job.
nonetheless, we are required to make moral decisions ourselves
Every day.
And I think the whole purpose of what we're experiencing now is to have people make very poor.
Yeah. Well, they're led to it.
Yeah.
They're led into it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it doesn't sound like we're a million miles apart, does it? In our collective thinking.
No, we're all very collective in our thinking. We're all pretty close, I would say. Willard,
Yeah, like
what
when
else
you talk about
okay, sorry, go. Oh, go ahead.
when you talk about the anti-life, anti-human agenda, I mean, I think that's the number one priority. So,
Yeah.
whether we're talking about Willard mentioned earlier the Monica Lewinsky scandal, like just debasing everyone's morals and kind of setting the standard there, and I mean, now it's to the point where it's like women are proud of killing their own kids. Like it's crazy,
Well,
And then
it's so
so
routine. It used to be a shameful act. Now it's very routine because it's very easy to do. It's just the morning after pill and blow it away. Pretty.
But I have spoken to women that have done it, and they're a mess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to get the abortion lady on a couple of years ago, but we lost touch. I just watched a video of her, and I want to get her on the show because she's making some very interesting links between abortion and future health problems for women.
Yeah.
It really is. There are many consequences.
Yeah.
yeah.
Many consequences that are not talked about because it seems so easy, so routine, but it really just really messes with the female body when you short turn a pregnancy. You can't stop everything the body's doing.
And the medical practitioners that are doing it, they are also going to pay a huge cost.
Morally, yeah.
Well, I'm guessing they're doing it on Earth as well, but obviously spiritually, it's going to be a thing. But right now, I'm sure that there are people that are coming. Like, imagine doctors that went through it when I went through my university. They're coming to my age now, and when they hear discussions like this, it must turn their heads inside out and their hearts. I can't imagine the anguish abortion practitioners that get to this age now are bearing. It must be very difficult for them.
Yeah, the the women that I've met that have, gone through that, they usually fall into two camps. And of course, the ones that are ashamed of it don't really want to talk about it. But I've known people that have talked about it, and of course they regret it. And then there's the other side that like they don't want to admit that they killed their kids, and so they end up embracing this kind of like far left political.
Well, they have to
know,
justify their decision. They really have to.
right.
Yeah.
And you're spot on when you say that like they have health problems later on, like if they try to conceive later, their body rejects it, and they end up having all kinds of other health issues.
Yeah.
And just one more thing too, when I travel for my work, and when I go down south, I was in Texas, and there's a Planned Parenthood center, and it's shaped like the Aztec pyramid, like the human sacrifice pyramid.
Are you kidding me?
Where's that one?
No,
where is that?
I think it's in Houston.
Okay.
If you Google it, and that like it's because here's the thing too, that's not a typical office building shape. Like you would think it would be like a rectangle kind of shape, right? But it's it's got the steps and like it looks like a freaking Aztec pyramid. And so
Wow,
the
that
whole
is
thing
a
is like
very powerful observation.
It's bizarre because you look at the name too, Planned Parenthood. Well, no one who goes there is planning on having kids. Like they're planning on ending being a mother. So it's like a weird satanic inversion. But it's sick, man. A lot of people don't see it. It's considered like a medical procedure nowadays, but I mean it's crazy how commonplace it is. I can't really see your screen, but if you go to images, you'll see it.
No, I'm gonna try and look it up. It's in Prevention Park.
Prevention
Park.
That's what they call it here. I'm gonna show my screen.
Wow,
that's kind of funny here. It's a stepped building on the side. It doesn't. It's sort of like a pyramid.
But it is. Have a look at the first picture where they compare the two side by side.
Another protest. So it's a Houston. It's okay. It's a not quite complete renovation of the former Sterling Bank building. Okay. It's the largest Planned Parenthood administrative headquarters and healthcare facility in the nation. And is anyone else really bothered by the fact that on the stair step portions of the curtain wall, the spandrel glass doesn't line up with the spandrels on the rest of the building? Oh, I see. That's interesting. Okay, so they're just complaining about the construction. Is anyone complaining about the way it looks? What else we got here? Sorry, I wasn't showing you my proper screen. Okay, well, interesting. It's in Prevention Park. That's funny. Okay, well, there you go.
Kate Emma says it's like the UN building being named the Tower of Babel. I didn't know that.
I don't know. Is it the UN building or is it the EU Congress in Belgium? That one's definitely shaped
it's
like
the EU. You're right. I think it's the EU country. Kate Emma, do you agree with this? Yeah.
Okay, here's a picture, I guess, that you're referring to. This is the one that's similar, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a very unusual shape for a building. Like you don't.
Oh, it is.
Office buildings don't look like that.
And a bit mad, isn't it? Because
they took over a building though. They did take over the Sterling Bank building. That's what it said anyway.
Bankers, in the same league.
I'll use this as the show art. It's kind of funny. Thank you very much, Lucas. That's fun.
Well, Lucas, you are really bringing it to the fakeology world with your observations, I must say.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Lucas.
It must be 3 or 4 in a row that you've whacked us with.
You've got some stuff.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I love the show, man. There's nothing else like it. I was a big Hoaxbusters call fan back when Chris Kendall and Don Adams were around. I never called in or anything. Well, I guess they didn't have call in really back then.
No,
but
you could call in. I used to call in to Chris's show.
Oh, I wasn't on the Discord, so I think that's where people called in. But
it was on TalkShoe, but then he also had a Skype account. And many people called in through that away, and he had a Skype phone number.
Oh, that's right. He
Uh-huh.
did too. But I always called in through talk show.
Yeah, you could use talk show. That was pretty good. For some reason I remember your voice on Hoaxbusters, but you're saying you didn't call
No,
it?
I listened to the archives, and by the time it was still uploading new episodes, John Adams was already gone, and it was
Okay.
right before COVID. And yeah, I didn't know there was a way to call in. I would mostly listen to their afternoon commutes and like I really like that punk rock series they did because that's kind of from my childhood. I like listening to that stuff. So them doing the Dave McGowan treatment to the punk movement, I thought was pretty interesting. So that's what
Oh,
initially
okay.
got me into them.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Well, that's
And
the
yeah,
same
they
kind of
mentioned you
stuff that
back
Mark
then too,
Devlin was
Tim.
talking about too. Yeah.
Say that again, Lucas.
I remember them mentioning you on the show. I don't know if were you on the show too, or because
Oh,
he would
yeah,
reference Tim
was
from
in the
Fakeologist.
I was in the audience all the time. I was a big fan of Chris's, and I had him on my show quite a few times. So for sure, yeah, we talked about it, and he definitely dropped the fakeologist name here and there. So yeah, we had good relations, I would say, show to show. It was very good. I
Yeah,
promoted
because
him. Mhm.
I didn't realize you had a show like I got a random ad on Podcast Addict where it was like JFK and the 9/11 tower exploding. I was like, what is this? I clicked on it and it was someone had you on, or maybe it was your show. I'm not sure, but that's how I started listening to you.
Oh, good.
Uh, that
That's
was many years on too, you know. So I had to realize you've been having a show this entire time.
well, I've really ramped it up during COVID, but now that we have a pretty good audience that just shows up no matter what we talk about, I'm grateful for. So I'll just keep it going. But I do want to keep it to an hour just because if I do 2 hours, 5 days a week, that's a little too much show, I think, for most people. And I can't get anything else done, by the way. So um, anyway, I don't know. I don't know what else to. It's not there isn't a lot of new content, and I know even 10 years ago people were saying, "Why are you talking about 9/11? It's such an old story." So we don't really talk about it all that much. Now we're just mainly just shooting the breeze on the latest psyops, and we do go all over the place, but it does make it somewhat interesting, I would say. More interesting if we try and stick to current events as well, I think. Because
There's
current
also
events.
there has also been
Mhm.
a realization that all the topics are fake. Like the medicine, the viruses.
Yeah.
There really is no sacred
There's no
cow.
end to the fakery.
Well, we're now realizing. Well, sorry, I'm now realizing that
Yeah.
everything is fake.
Well, and that's why I think people listen to say the No Agenda show more because they just deconstruct the fakery of the day. So they don't have to make content because the content is made for them in the form of the news. Now the news is not really news, organic news, it's manufactured news.
Mm.
And it's so obvious, like the most obvious manufactured fake BS news of the day has got to be this Epstein thing because it's not even good fiction. It's really retread, boring, splitting hairs fiction. It's mind-numbingly, stupidly boring.
When that really came clear to me was just a thing of someone reading out a letter from Prince Andrew's original wife, Fergie, giving full support to Epstein and virtually saying that she wants to marry him. Did you?
I know it's just such nonsense. It's if you
It's
like soap
completely
operas,
that.
if you like the EastEnders and all the soap operas that were on, I guess they're still on, where 10 years goes by, and if you miss the last 10 years, you can start in the 11th year and not have hardly missed anything. It's the
Yeah.
same idea. It's
Mm.
it's turning news stories into soap operas. Now here's one here. So we could spend the whole show deconstructing the
Look at
news.
that chin.
Like
Wow.
today's news is this missing senior of this media personality. So here we go again. We always say that it's the media that's doing this deceiving. Well, if it's a media personality, then it's even more certain that it's a fake story.
They become the
Because
news.
they are, the media is the news.
Yeah.
So here we go again. We don't even have to dig too deep into this story, because I think most people here, we realize that it's almost for sure fake.
Well,
But
we can auto hoax, as
we can auto hoax it.
our very good friend Tim
Mhm.
says.
So we can watch this.
Breaking news into CNN just
Now, why
moments.
is this breaking news? Like the word breaking news has also been destroyed, because the whole meaning of something urgent is gone. There's no urgency to any of this story, or almost every story, because they've prefaced it with the words breaking news. So we have to drop everything that we're doing and pay attention. So they've diluted the phrase breaking news the same way Trump has diluted the idea of fake news. It's completely meaningless now.
Ago, Savannah Guthrie posted a new video on Instagram about her missing mother Nancy. Here it is.
Hi there, everybody. I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we.
I don't know how. Like, I've seen this girl before on the news, and it is interesting without the bright lights and the professional makeup artists. If she hasn't been totally made up, what a difference! Filters, pro makeup artists, what a difference they make when bringing these personalities to TV. This is one of the reasons why I don't use a video camera, because the amount of time and effort it would take just to make yourself presentable is ridiculous. And it's very distracting, I find. So here's such an example.
Enter into another week of this nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt.
This is very
Because
bad
we
acting.
believe that
Yeah.
somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers, and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe
you
our
guys
mom
ever-
is still out there.
Oh.
No, go ahead. I don't have to listen to this crap.
Were you guys ever fans of that show, Mystery Science Theater, where they would watch the B movies and they'd make fun of them?
No, I never heard of it.
Oh man, it's from like the '90s and early 2000s. But basically, they'd have a shitty B movie on, and they'd have these guys making jokes the entire time. But I watched so many of those and like so many B movies that when you see these psyops, it's just like, bad acting when you see it. Like I'm not an expert in people that have had their parents kidnapped or whatever, but I know they don't act like that. Like that looks like something from like a Lorenzo Lamas movie or something. It's it's terrible.
So here's some clues that it's totally fake. The family believes, so that we have the word belief in there. Now we have possible abductors. Okay. So these are all.
So again, they're clearly doing everything they can not to lie.
Right. Citing a purported ransom note. There's either a ransom note or there isn't. It's not purported. Do we need to know what purported means?
Purported means it's fake. It's not there.
The word purported means, appearing or stated to be true, though not necessarily slow. Alleged. The purported marriage was void. Okay, see, words matter. There you go.
Words matter, yeah.
That's all you need to know.
It's again another thing highlighting that view that I have. That these people are always speaking, as I said, we call it a pill pull. We're now going to call it, or masterfully. Quite likely that she's in the Star of the East
Yeah,
Lodge.
Eastern Star. The note
Eastern Star.
included a threat to Guthrie's life if the deadline wasn't met, according to K-Gun. So, okay, a news station is not a person, so that's not a valid reference. Because if you don't have a
A
person,
name.
a
Yeah.
name, then
What have you got? Nothing.
we have an entity. An entity doesn't speak. Here we go. The FBI says, see, the FBI cannot talk. The FBI has people working for it. So the people can talk. So who is the person testifying to this? Nobody.
Hmm.
They have not identified a suspect or person of interest. Additional FBI personnel from across the nation are deploying to Tucson. It said. Who's it? An entity said it? I think it should have capital letters. Should be capital I.
They're playing verbal hopscotch, like they're just dancing around, like
Yeah.
making any kind of definitive statement.
The Pima County Sheriff said, okay, who's the sheriff? If he said it, let's hear him say it. Now, here's another clue. I mean, they go on and on.
By the way, the Pima County in particular was
Mhm.
my very favorite man.
That Joe guy.
Dallas Goldberg was always banging in about the fakery going on at Pima County Sheriff, and was it a real institution or not?
Oh, okay. Is that interesting? Okay.
He was always, bagging Pima County as being some kind of Hollywood or show business thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Showbiz for Arizona. Now, this might be a real statement where a former New York police detective, and he has a name, he says that the crime scene, if there is a crime, is totally contaminated because people have been walking through it, i.e., the media. So it's not really a crime scene anymore that can be used. It has no use because
Well, I think of it just for fun.
Mhm.
If we compared the number of times Pima County Sheriff has been used as the sheriff as opposed to other jurisdictions, I think we'll find that Pima County is a bit like the town in Midsummer Murders, a British crime show where 98% of the population's been murdered.
And finally, to rest my case, the initial ransom note was sent to TMZ. TMZ is, what does that stand for again? Total Manufactured Zionism? No, I don't know.
You beat me to it.
That's great.
I can't remember what it stands for. I used to know. But this Harvey Levin guy is the point man of the story. Do we need to know anything more?
Well, but what about the fact he's called Levin? A little leaven ruins the whole loaf.
Oh, that's right. That's very good.
And he was from a show called the
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
he was from a show called The People's Court, which was like one of those like Judge Judy, like fake daytime judge shows, So it's like, oh, okay, this guy's a real correspondent. We got to trust what he says.
Yeah.
Oh, TMZ stands for 30-mile zone, a historic term for the 30-mile radius around the intersection of Beverly and La Cienega in Los Angeles that defines the studio zone for filming, impacting crew pay and conditions. The entertainment news outlet, founded by Harvey Levin, adopted the name to reflect its focus on Hollywood celebrities within that core area, even using a map of the zone in their office. The 30-mile zone. So it was
not 33.
Yeah, really, it's not 33, but it was established for union film productions to determine travel pay and logistics. So I guess outside that zone, it would be extra. So it's like a fare zone for transit. So that's interesting. So there you go. So when TMZ is at the point spokesperson or where all the info is emanating from, that's all you need to know. Completely and utterly nonsensically fake. But we could continue to do shows just talking about whatever garbage the news is pumping out. which would, you know, be entertaining.
Yeah.
So that's about all I got, unless you guys have something else to talk about.
I thought that was a pretty good almost hour conversation.
Yeah,
Willard?
we need a heart out for you. Willard, do you got anything else?
Just one last point to Frank to close the loop on the Nephilim book.
Okay.
I'm not going to get the book, Frank, because in the mid '90s I spoke with Fritz Springmeyer and Cisco Wheeler, and I was going to do my own book on the topics they cover, and I had this notebook. And one day I teach school, and I had it I could not find it in my room. You know, I brought it to school, and I thought I had it. And the student took me to look for about a half hour, and we couldn't find it. And then a student asked to go to the bathroom, and I opened my top right drawer, and the book was sitting right there. And she said, "How peculiar." And I found out later that this is a phenomenon. It's called the port, APPORT, where objects will disappear and come back. And you mentioned praying, and it was at lunchtime. I went out to my car, and I came back after the end of lunch, and on my desk was a big metal garbage can, just like in Poltergeist, where something's set on top of your desk. So this topic is real. This is a spiritual reality that they talk about. And I would say in this, this context, the Bible says, "Call on me, and I will show you great and mighty things thou knowest not."
Yeah.
And in this age that we live in of deception, God is still here. And if people will call on him, he will reveal them to them, because he is the truth. It's not, I have to disagree with Tim Osborne and his worldview, but that's for a different night. But I wanted to make that point too, since you had mentioned the book, because go ahead.
I mean, I fully concur with the model that you're presenting, as you know. But what I didn't quite get was why that doesn't make you want to buy the book, or why that makes you want to avoid buying the book.
Well,
I didn't quite pick that point up.
Okay, I remember he talked about the transactions with these spirits, how the Masons would have the jesters and that would do these, they dress up and they have this transaction. It's sort of like that, where I would be getting, I understand how this stuff works, and by listening to it, I get it. But to delve into that close to material, you can, I believe, they call it demonic.
Okay.
Because, like, I'll give you an example. There was in the movies I talked about the numbers in the movies, so the symbols. At the same time this was happening to me, there was a poster at a VHS store, like a Blockbusters. I was looking at it, and I noticed these Marduk slave symbols in it. And when I recognized it, the electronic locks on my car slammed shut.
Whoa!
Just bam, just like
that's pretty full on, isn't it?
Well, it'll make you read the Bible, that's for sure. That's true. That happened to me, among other things. So I just wanted to mention that to you.
I really appreciate it. These are the things, because I've only come into this worldview so recently. There's a lot for me to pick up. And Australia is quite different to the USA, where, as far as I can tell, in the times that I have been to the USA, biblical knowledge is still very high in the USA, way higher than it is here in Australia. So I'm, I do find speaking with Americans about the Bible much more satisfying. They have a very good knowledge of the Bible.
Yeah, very good.
You mentioned the fakery. I think I told you before, where my sister's father-in-law flew for TWA 747s from Chicago to Paris in Israel. And I asked him if he accounted for the rotation of the Earth when he did his flight, because he would fly for 8 hours.
Yeah.
And he said no. He says when they navigate, they never account for the rotation of Earth. And that to me makes no sense whatsoever. What do you think of that?
Well, there's nothing to account for. You just, when I fly from, point A to point B, I make the assumption that point B is going to be in the exact location it was when I started. Otherwise, I can't navigate there.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
in a light plane, flying from Melbourne to Sydney, takes a couple of hours. Sydney's gone to where Hawaii was, or the other way around. Either one way or the other. But it's such a big change in distance according to the spinning ball model that never ever. There's just no need to make any allowance for that. It's not required. And in fact, the NASA and all the aeronautical people repeatedly put out this hundreds of documents saying this is based on the assumption of a stationary, non-rotating Earth. That is all the documents about the design, handling, and control of an aircraft are based on the assumption of a stationary, a flat stationary Earth. And that's what I've said to people before as an engineer. I've never had to make any allowance for it, ever. Not ever.
Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, you're the one that make that remark stand out in my mind. I remember you referred that frequently. That's all I had. It's an interesting show, fellas.
No, appreciate.
Well, thank you for making it interesting. I appreciate that, Willard.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's about it. Any closing comments, Lucas?
No, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's been
night,
great
guys.
to have you on, Lucas. I really appreciate it. I mean, you're dropping bombs everywhere.
Good ones.
Fantastic.
Good.
Appreciate
Nuggets.
Talk
to you guys soon.
Yeah. Thank you, Willard. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Yes.
You're welcome. Good night.
Thank you.
Again, Tim, thank you for your indulgence. It's a great honor to be able to appear on your shows.
And thanks for showing up on our Discord all the time. We appreciate you there.
Well, thank you.
And if anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, go to on your favorite podcast platform. Just look for Fakeologist audio chats. Frank is there all the time, among many other Australians and other people from around the world. So I really appreciate everyone for coming on from all places around the world. You can join the studio at shortfake.com/restream. You can call in. You can meet us on the Discord. And we're very relaxed here. John the Beggar hasn't called in tonight. Well, maybe he'll call in tomorrow. Yes. I know you guys have your regular fans. I do too. A lot of great content creators out there for sure. Great caller-inners. And yeah, we haven't had any good psyops lately. Let's be honest. It's been dry. And I know if we ask for it, they will bring them to us. But Frank, I hope we got you away on time tonight.
Yeah, it's great. Really well. And well, again, terrific.
Everything
show. Very well done. Terrific.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining, and we will talk to you tomorrow with Tim Osmond. Hopefully he'll be here. No promises. And next week we're off. So Frank, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
I really have to move the site because I'm approaching a hard cancellation at my existing hosts for the forums, for the blog, for everything. So I really got to get to doing that. Hopefully it'll be really fast and easy, but no guarantees. So
all right.
Thanks everybody.
All
right. Bye-bye. Fakeologist.com/donate. Take care.